If I were to say to you, long before the terrorists on 9/11 hijacked those planes, their beliefs hijacked their minds, few of you would disagree. But if I then said, what if we're all hijacked by our beliefs? Would you think, not me, I'm smarter than that? When a U.S. Senator holds up a snowball to deny climate change, and birthers post billboards to deny the president's legitimacy, or 9/11 truthers march and protest to imagine conspiracies, some of us think these people must be stupid or crazy. But what if it's not really them that's the problem? What if it's just a set of beliefs that have hijacked their minds, making them act stupid or crazy? In other words, it's not a hardware problem at all. It's the software. Ask any IT professional when your computer crashes if it's likely to be a hardware or a software problem, and well over 90% of the time, they will tell you it's a software problem. Maybe we have been trying to solve software problems all this time thinking they were hardware problems. And hardware tools aren't very good at fixing software problems. We remember the atrocities leaders of the past have committed, but forget how effective they were at spreading dangerous ideologies. Individual leaders come and go, but ideologies remain, allowing new leaders to continue spreading those dangerous beliefs. If beliefs are the real problem, not the individuals, can an understanding of beliefs solve our problems? When I say belief, I'm actually referring to a meme. No, not this kind of a meme. I'm talking about the original meaning intended by Richard Dawkins in his book The Selfish Gene, summarized as an idea, belief, or thought pattern that replicates via non-genetic means, a parasitic code or virus of the mind. So what is a meme? A meme is simply information that is transmitted from one or more individuals who may or may not continue that transmission. Successful memes, just like genes, need to replicate with a high degree of fidelity or they will cease to exist. The genes and memes we see today are the result of millions of years of co-evolution. Working together, genes and memes make each other better adapted to their environment. We tend to think that we communicate for our benefit alone, while completely missing how we benefit our memes. Language, writing, communication satellites, and the internet all benefit our memes at least as much as our genes. But replicators are selfish, and their own survival comes first. Sometimes when genes and memes compete for survival, the memes win. The truth of the meme has nothing to do with its fitness, only that it gets passed on. If the meme needs to fool the individual or host to stay alive and propagate, it will do so. Let's distinguish a meme from an idea or belief. It's useful to think of one leading to the other in stages. If I were to say, I have an idea, go jump off that bridge. You don't think that's a very good idea, so you don't. But if I were to say, God wants you to jump off that bridge to prove your faith, you still wouldn't, but is there any doubt, under the right circumstances, I could get someone to jump? You know the idea has been accepted and has become a belief the moment they jump. Now, if that same person can convince others to join them in jumping, the belief has become a meme. It has gone viral, and it can do a lot of damage. Two things to keep in mind are the truth of the meme doesn't matter, and the host is expendable. The only thing that matters from the meme's perspective is that it survives and spreads as far and as wide as possible. I'll use the word belief more often than meme, but it's important to know that we're talking about a replicator that may or may not have your best interest in mind, if it had a mind, which it doesn't. It's a mindless replicator just doing what it's evolved to do, replicate. The reason it's so hard for people to change their mind is because once a belief infects a mind, it has a lot of tricks to stay there. And if you think that sounds weird, well, that's one of the tricks. Your current beliefs will naturally try to fight any new ideas that potentially threaten them. There is no intention here. It is the work of coevolution. Our genes and memes have co-evolved, mostly for mutual benefit, but not always. When a suicide bomber takes himself out of the gene pool, the meme benefits at the expense of the individual's genes. How does a meme benefit? By calling attention to itself in dramatic fashion, encouraging people to check it out, and by reinforcing the belief in those who are already infected. The loss of a few individuals is well worth the cost. Memes trump genes. On the upside, if it weren't for memes, we wouldn't have language, culture, science, or big brains. The trick is to know what to believe and what not to believe. The simple answer is to always require evidence for what you believe, but of course, it's never that simple. What at first appears to be irrational or stupid behavior often makes perfect sense once you understand the underlying belief system behind that behavior. Don't blame the person, blame their worldview. It's better to separate the person from their beliefs and expose the irrational nature of the belief, not the person. Understand that beliefs are parasitic replicators that have evolved very effective ways of controlling us by using our own brain chemicals to keep them in place and help them to spread. It's difficult to change our minds because it feels so bad to do so. Consider that the world is not made up of good guys and bad guys, but that it is made up of true beliefs and false beliefs. And we all have a moral obligation to make sure that our beliefs are aligned with reality. Because if we don't, there is the real possibility of repeating the atrocities of the past simply for the benefit of false beliefs. With this new understanding of human behavior, we can now answer questions and solve problems we just couldn't before. Subscribe if you want to know more.